Football! That's right. Still excited about it. I'm doing all right in my league, so that's why I'm still happy. Name, career, Dustin there. Week 3 is upon us, so we got some rankings for you. But first,
thank you to our sponsor,
MyBookie.ag.
That's MyBookie.ag. Check them out. Use the promo code SMACK, and on your first deposit, they will match 100% up to $1,000. So check that out. Click the link in the description to go to the site. And also, too, they have a thing where you can bet on fantasy players, the over-under on their fantasy points. I like pointing that out because that's pretty cool. So go in there, check them out.
He's on pace for 75 touchdowns.
We did it.
He's on pace for 75 touchdowns.
We put him there.
Why not? Patrick Mahomes has been just unbelievable. He's been fantastic, and it's the perfect fantasy scenario, right? His secondary is terrible, so his defense isn't that good. So they got to keep airing it out to keep up and score points. He's got great weapons. He's got 3 guys that can pretty much have huge speed, checkdowns, and breakaway for touchdowns. He's got Kelsey over the middle. And we heard all last year that Alex Smith wasn't coming back because this kid's so great. He might actually be that great.
We believed it, but we should have believed
I just wish I had
a
more
little
leagues.
bit more.
Yeah. It's incredible. He's looked so good doing it.
And a guy that we did like coming into last year, and he looked really good, and now we get to see him again. Carson Wentz is coming back this week. We have him at number 10, and you could easily say, hey, let's wait and see a game. Like, don't put him too high, but he's going up against Indy, and you got to feel like that's a good first game back for him. He's going to be at home. I don't know if he's going to be 100% healthy or even really close to it. I don't think he's going to run that much, but we still think he has a good game. We're excited to see him back, see what he can do. And don't forget to get into our FanDuel game. Click on the link in the description and get in there. It's at FanDuel.com/FST if you just want to go to it. Congrats to our winner last week. She Mitzg took us down last week. So they get the cash. They get an entry into the Sunday Million for this week. And if you've never signed up for FanDuel, it's a lot of fun. Use our link to do it. It helps us out.
Yeah, it's great to pair up with your season-long leagues. All right, Dustin, the running back I'm talking about, he's got a great matchup this week against the Chiefs. We said we don't really love that defense. He's also leading the league in rushing currently at 184 rush yards, and that is Matt Breida. Who would have thunk that this guy was going to be that much of a beast? But we have to rank him here because clearly the system's working. If you were a McKinnon owner, hey, I'm sorry. Looks like it would have worked out. And again, love that matchup against the Chiefs. You know, their secondary is not that great, but their front four isn't much better. He should have another decent game this week, coming in at number 14 for us.
At number 17, we have a guy that was drafted in the first 4 picks in probably most of your leagues.
My keeper.
David Johnson. It's been bad. There's been reports where they're like, we're going to move him around. We're going to get him more involved. We're going to figure it out. And I believe them, and I do think they will. But this week they're playing Chicago, and that defense just looks like they are on a mission right now. David Johnson only has 118 total yards. In most cases, he's still finding your lineup because volume will still be there. And if they can stay out on the field, he can still have a decent week. But it's just hard to get him up. We tried to put him up higher, and we're just like, no, 17 seems to make sense.
Yeah, and he's a good buy low, though. I think he's going to be all right this year because he's buy super low. And if he has a bad game, he's buy even lower. So just keep that in mind. He's not going to be, if you drop him in the first round, he's not going to be as bad as he's been, but I don't think he's going to necessarily return, it's certainly high first round value at this point. Number 30, Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Williams just hasn't been cutting it for the Packers. We've always said we like Jones' talent a lot more. We're ranking him here because we believe after this suspension he steps in. We believe he's going to be the man out there. They might, kind of share some carries with Williams for the first game or two, but I think Jones is going to be ending up owning this job moving forward, and I think he's going to be solid this week as well. They're playing Washington. I do believe the Packers will go up in this game. I do believe they'll run the ball a lot, and I do believe Jones will be the guy toting that rock quite a bit.
I want to talk about Austin Eckler, number 34. It's been pretty impressive what he's done. And coming into the year, he's like, he could be a fun PPR guy, maybe kind of like a handcuff to Gordon. I don't think he's going to be super involved, but he's had double-digit touches each the first 2 weeks. He's averaged over 7 yards per carry. and he's just being very productive with the touches that he's getting. So, at this point, and you look at that Rams matchup, it's not the best matchup, but it could be a lot of points go around in that game. It's at this point he's got to be in flex consideration, I feel, each week. And if you got lineup questions, don't forget, post them in this video. We've been answering a ton of them each week. We try to get to as many as we can. I don't think we've quite been getting to all of them, but we are.
We did pretty good last week, I think.
We're getting to most of them. But don't forget, put them in there if you got some lineup.
And if you see another question you can answer, feel free to respond. It's a community here.
Community.
Oh, look at it, like Sam C, just like me and Dustin. We're in sync. All right, let's move over to wide receivers, Mr. Barkley. And I'm going to start us off because, of course, I will. Nelson Aguilar is the guy I want to talk about, and you're thinking, well, Alshon might be back. Why isn't he ranked? Why do you have Nelson Aguilar here? Well, first of all, there's a chance that Alshon won't be back. There's now new reports saying that. It's not like, it wasn't a guarantee he was only going to miss 2 games and that's it, and he's definitely going to play. So he might not even play, and if he does, it might be very limited. And Wentz is back. I love the matchup against the Colts, and Aguilar's looked really solid. I actually think he's the best receiver on the team, with or without Alshon stepping onto that field. Ranked 14 for a reason.
Now I want to talk about Brandon Cooks. When looking at that receiving core coming into the season, we thought Cooks might be kind of the boomer bust guy, the guy that, will have some good games but hard to predict. We saw what Watkins did on that team last year. It really wasn't that impressive. But they've had those 3 receivers out on the field a ton this year, and they've been spreading it out pretty evenly, but Cooks has been heavily involved. We think he's a wide receiver too. We got him at number 16. He has 17 targets already this year. At this point, it could still go a lot of different ways. I still like Woods. I still like Kupp. But it looks like all 3 of these guys are going to be solid moving forward. But Cooks is playing better than I thought he would at this point.
Another receiving core, it looks like all 3 are going to be solid, is the Detroit Lions. And Kenny Galladay.
It's looking good.
Dude, 21 targets. Are you kidding me? He's had 21 targets in the first 2 games. He's had over 200 receiving yards in those first 2 games. There's no reason, and he's looked good. There's no reason to think this trend won't continue. Lions are going to throw the ball a ton, obviously, and he's going to get his share. I mean, he is a viable wide receiver 3 option for you every single week. And on some teams, if you have him as a wide receiver 2 in your lineup, you might have to. It's not the worst thing because he's getting the looks.
Just inside our top 40, we got Josh Gordon. Now, we normally shoot this show on Wednesday. We're shooting it on Tuesday this week for scheduling issues. But here's the thing with Josh Gordon. We're ranking him here as if he's going to play, but play limited snaps. It's too early in the week to gauge any type of, what's going to happen with him in terms of game usage. But we also think he's kind of a sell-high guy right now because a lot of things can happen with this. Could he go to New England and blow up? Yes, of course. And if you can find that 1 or 2 guys or girls in your league that thinks that, I don't think it's a bad time to sell because I think more could go wrong than could go right. But obviously the upside is huge with Gordon. Anyway.
Yeah, people think he's Randy Moss. People are just like, oh, he's going to get 21 touchdowns or however many Randy Moss.
At least 20.
It's not the same thing. I'm telling you, if you have Josh Gordon, send him for David Johnson. Just see what happens. What if you could do that? What if you could get that? It'd be amazing. All right, let's go over to tight ends. Jesse James of the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a guy that Mr. Barkley, to my right, has always loved.
Love me some Jesse James.
And why do you love him?
Just seems like he fits the bill. He's got the size. Like I feel like, with those other receivers out there that they have, or the receivers they have out there, there should be no pressure on him.
I just wanted, okay, thanks.
I like it.
I'm talking about him. I just wanted, he's big, he's got good hands. And the thing that he wasn't getting many targets last year. He's averaged 5 or gotten 5 in the first 2 games. I can see Big Ben giving him at least 5 every single week. Definitely a red zone threat. If you're hurting it at tight end.
It takes tight ends some time sometimes. 2-3 years to get things going.
He looks good, though.
He does.
He's always been a Dustin favorite.
Will Dissly, I want to talk about with Seattle. If you look at his game log, and if you're one of those people that might not catch all of the game, and you just look at the game log and see what he did, he ended up having a decent week 2, but it was in junk time. So I just wanted to point that out. Don't go starting him over any big names. I'm still a Dissly fan as a tight end 2 or a deeper league tight end. He still has weekly upside, but the game log doesn't tell the whole story. It was a complete junk touchdown for him. He wouldn't have had hardly any week at all if it wasn't for that last drive.
So when I look to see what defense I'm talking about, I go to mybookie.ag. I like to look at lines. And one line really stuck out to me this week, and I'm talking about my boys. You know I love the Minnesota Vikings. And they're playing the Bills. And if you watch my FanDuel show, which is also kind of like a sleeper show, so check it out, I pick any defense that's playing the Bills for my FanDuel lineup. It happens to be my boys, the Vikings, this week, and they are a 17-point favorite currently.
Unreal.
With over 70% of the money still going on them. The line might end at -20 come Sunday. It might be insane. An over-under of 40.5, which basically means their thing is going to be 29-11, and probably a lot of sacks coming. If you got the Vikings, yummy.
Well, any of the top three,
they're all fun.
You're very happy this week. And at number 6, the Ravens. This is a tough defense right now. They were a top 3 defense in most leagues last year, but they're coming off a terrible game on the road against Cincinnati. But it was a divisional game, and it was a short week. I have Baltimore in a couple leagues, and I'm very much considering making a swap for a team lower on this list. But I'm just trying to say, be a little patient with Baltimore's D. Denver, decent offense, obviously, but I still think Baltimore could have.
CJ did get hurt on the Ravens. That does hurt them a little bit.
It does. So that's our rankings. Like we said, we're shooting them on Tuesday this week, so be sure to get onto the website to check our most updated rankings as we update them throughout the week. Hopefully you're all, hopefully you all are 2-0.
Give me a pen flip to catch my. Give me a pen flip.
Oh, no, but.
Please!
Yeah, but even if you had caught it, you had already blown it. I mean, you had such a good throw, too. Yes, bro.